about my love. Wasn't it enough? Just let me know. So
Arizona versus Mississippi State. What say you?
Mississippi State. That's what I say, man. I got Mississippi State here. Arizona, one of the worst in the Pac-12. they buns. I had to think of the word because, like, I'm trying to keep this PG. Mississippi State, though, I like what's going on over there. I think they're going to be a very underrated team this year. You're facing one of the worst Pac-12 schools as well. Soren, not going to lie, I thought that was something else you were drinking. I thought Florida already had you at the bottle.
All right, so I'm also going Mississippi State. There's two of the most underrated quarterbacks playing in this game. There's no question about it. Jayden de Laura from Arizona and Will Rogers. So to say that they're buns, Hayden, I think is a little incorrect. But we'll get into it, right?
Blasphemous.
So Jayden de Laura in his last game, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 interception, and 1 rushing touchdown. He was basically their running game as well. Will Rogers played a pretty good game, had 2 touchdowns. But I did want to highlight a couple players here outside of them. But first, let's get into these defenses. Both defenses were okay. They allowed too much yardage against FBS schools, in my opinion. 264 for Arizona, 208 for Mississippi State. But they were still in the top 30 of total defenses in the country. Mississippi State has only allowed, has the only 100 plus yard rusher in this game with senior Jo'quavious Marks, who averaged 6.7 yards, 127 yards, and on 19 carries and 2 touchdowns in his last game. Why is this significant? When's the last time you seen Mississippi State run the ball? They had Mike Leach.
Exactly.
And now it's going to be time to open it up. Marks also tied for the number 1 target as far as the passing game with Will Rogers as well. So watch out for Nathaniel Watson, the linebacker for Ole Miss. Had 8 total tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 pass defended, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery in their game last week. Arizona's defense has a tackling machine with several players that had 6+ tackles each. So their front seven's pretty disgusting too. Not disgusting, but they're pretty good. I think Jayden de Laura will be more dangerous on the ground than in the air that Will Rogers will be in the air this game. Arizona's defense will stop the run somewhat, I think. With how good they are at tackling, I think they're going to slow Jo'quavious down. And, my rundown of this, Jedd Fisch is the better coach, but Mississippi State mixing it up will put it together, and they'll come out with the win for Zach Arnett in his first year as the Mississippi State Bulldogs head coach. Sora?
Yeah, so I know I sent you Arizona, but after doing more research, I am also going to go with Mississippi State because you do make a great point. One was really the last time we saw this run game open up for Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Now with Zach Arnett as your head coach, you're seeing the run game open up. What's his face? More. Because you talk about Jo'quavious Marks, 19 carries, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget Mike Wright, who had 95 yards in 5 attempts. Yes, Will Rogers did pretty good in the passing game. 20 for 29, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's kind of the Will Rogers we're used to. And he spread the ball around. 3 guys had no receiver had over 5 receptions. 3 of them had 4. Creed Whittemore, 4 receptions, 59 yards, 1 touchdown. Jo'quavious Marks, 4 receptions, 59 yards. That's your running back being involved in the passing game now as well. Litatrick Griffin, 4 receptions, 33 yards. So, again, he's spread it around. Not one receiver had over 5 receptions. And you also know, again, we had said this, Will Rogers is on a mission because you had heard him after the bowl game talking about Mike Leach. So, that's got a fire in all the teams. That's helping out Zach Arnett because that team is just motivated. Yep. Yes, both of these teams did not do good against the FCS schools. It took Mississippi State a while. They had 3 points in the first quarter. It was 3-0. Then they got another field goal. Then they started opening it up with the touchdowns. And then just from there, it was over for everybody else. Hayden, I can't agree with what you said about the quarterbacks. I'm with
Yeah, I
Dante.
was
These are two
looking
very
back.
underrated.
Yeah, I look
quarterbacks
back
as
at
well
it
with
a
Jaden
bit.
Delora.
I've been talking about Jaden Delora and
I
Will
know
Rogers for the longest time.
Yeah. And I
I'll
mean,
I
Jaden
was
Delora
thinking
is
it
going to have to be the X factor here.
Mhm.
No, he's dangerous in the passing game and he's dangerous with his legs. He had 47 receptions, 47 rushing, and a touchdown on the ground. And
I
also,
think that this is like fingernail biting, like close to towards the end. I think if
this is
Jaden
the
Delora
game-
plays good, they might win this game.
yeah.
So you're
If Jaden
saying
Delora plays good, this is a game that would go into double overtime, like straight
Yeah.
up. This is the game to go into double overtime, all that stuff.
all that
I
fun
just-
stuff. So wait, what you're
So
saying
Fishing
is this is-
Fishing has Arizona. All the rest of us agree on Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just thinking it's Mississippi State with how much they spread the ball around. You're now seeing the run game being opened up, which is something you haven't seen in a while.
yeah.
I just think
So
overall Mississippi State's got the more offensive power to pull out this game versus
They got the juice.
yeah, they do got the
they
juice
got
versus
the
Arizona
juice, they
State,
got the juice.
who pretty much Jaden Delora was almost their lead rusher as well, only 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I mean that entire offense runs through Jaden Delora. If he's not having a good game, that offense is not having a good game.
And just to throw in there, this offseason, all the legal troubles that he's been having, all that stuff has been dropped. So now
Yeah.
he's like super focused on football right now.
Yeah,
So he is a free man of all charges against him.
free my boy.
Your boy.
All right, so the next one up, and we're almost done down in the final
we go.
stretch.